It has come to my attention that whenever I talk about a movie or a TV show or a book, a lot of you either go watch that movie, TV show, or book. And I love that. I freaking love that. My homegirl, I'm not gonna say your name because you changed your YouTube name due to privacy reasons and you didn't want your full government name on there, but if you're listening, you know I'm talking about you. My homegirl commented and was telling me that she just put a book on her Goodreads list, The Falconer by Elizabeth May, because in my last video I read you guys chapter 1 of the book The Falconer, and I'm so excited about that. But this isn't even coming from her comment, this is in general. So on my Instagram, I was swooning over a Netflix movie called Purple Hearts. Now, a lot of you went out and watched the movie Purple Hearts because I was on Netflix freaking out, or I was on Instagram freaking out about it. And then a lot of you Instagram DM'd me and was like, Rachel, this movie ain't it. Now, like I said, in general, I freaking love that you guys trust my opinion on movies and books and stuff enough to go and buy the book or rent the movie or whatever it is you're doing. And it just makes me feel connected because it's like now I've got a whole community of people that love The Falconer as much as I do when they read it, if they read it and like it. Now I've got this whole community of people that went and watched The Last Kingdom because I recommended it and fell in love with it, and now we can talk about it and bond over it. And whenever I'm ranting about The Last Kingdom, or whenever I mention or reference something from the book The Falconer, you guys are gonna know what I'm talking about because we're on the same page now. So I absolutely love that. But with this movie in particular, listen, have you ever liked a movie or TV show and in the back of your head as you're watching it, you're like, this freaking show slash movie is absolute garbage, but I like it anyway? We've all been there. I know I'm asking the question have you ever, but if you say no, your nose must be 8 inches long by now, because we've all been there. We have. And Jersey Shore, right? Jersey Shore is absolute trash TV, but it was the back in the day, okay? I was a shorezer. I did watch Jersey Shore, okay? But it's awful TV. So the movie Purple Hearts, disclaimer, I don't want to say it's awful, but it's really not that good. It's not awful, but it's really not that good. But I like it anyway. And I can't explain to you why, but the movie Purple Hearts has got me by the throat. Alright, it just, your girl's cut off and for my YouTube family, for my YouTube sunbeams, do not go watch this movie on Netflix. I am not recommending it to you because I don't want y'all to be disappointed like the people on Instagram were. expressing that you don't feel well. And it's just really hard when you're being told test result after test result, visit after visit, that hey, you're young, these test results are coming back fine, there's nothing wrong, but you don't feel fine, right? Everyone keeps telling you that you're okay, but you don't feel okay on a day-to-day basis, and you know something is up. And so, like I said, not going to talk about it much longer, but I just want to say to anyone who got this far, if your body is telling you that something is wrong, but the doctors are telling you that you're fine, and you know, everyone's getting fed up with you complaining about the exact same issue day in and day out, resides in just different bodies, you know what I'm saying? And then when the group finally comes together and bonds and completes, it feels like, you know, everything's right in the world. And not only that, but it boosts each of their individual powers, and they all get stronger, and yada yada yada. So that's the gist of that. So the reason that it was 3-star, every single book was 3 stars, because within the bonded group, the main bonded group, there's this one guy. I'll tell you, his name was Knox. I hated him. I hated him. I hated him because he just was so atrociously cruel and like nasty to her, and it was the connection between Ollie and Knox was supposed to be like the bully romance trope. I hate bully romances. I hate them. I think I've said this in another book ramble that I did, but I am not the sort of girly that falls for the guy that's an asshole. If you're a jerk to me right off the rip, you're cut off. It's just not gonna go anywhere. I'm not attracted to that. That doesn't get my gears grinding. If you are, that's cool, but I don't like bully romances. And I mean, he was a bully. Like there is a scene in the first book that needed trigger warnings, but they had none because it was borderline assault. And actually it wasn't borderline, it was assault. And so yeah, again, I am not recommending the Tragic Bonds series to you. I would never reread the series, but I read all the books that were available in it because each book ends on a cliffhanger, and I mean a cliffhanger that's got you like it makes you so angry, because it's like I was so ready to throw this book in the trash because I literally cared about nothing that was going on. But then you end the book with a vital piece of information being revealed, or somebody getting kidnapped, or something crazy that forces me to go and borrow the next book from my library. Okay, so the author definitely knew what she was doing, and it'll tell you in the description each book ends on a cliffhanger. But I didn't read that for the first one, so I didn't know. And after the first one, I was hooked. I had to finish. Even though they were all 3-star reads. Aside from that, though, aside from me not liking Knox, the rest of it was actually okay. It was just that one character that made the books awful to me. So if you're someone that doesn't mind bully romances, you might actually really enjoy that series. I'll put both of the series that I'm talking about down in the description in case you want to look them up and read the synopsis and see if it's something that you'd be interested in. Because again, I can't read the synopsis to you tonight like I usually do. I got you next time though, boo. But yeah, so what I just recently read, I finished 5 books of the Tragic Bond series, and then today, this evening, I finished book 1 of Saba Tahir, or Tahir Saba. I can't remember which order the author's name goes in. And book 1 was called An Ember in the Ashes, and that was 3.5, and only because it seemed like nothing got done. So that is my book update for you. If anyone cared, I'm going to try to consistently let you guys know what I'm reading, and I'll tell you whether or not I recommend you get that book, just so you're not wasting your time. But if I read the synopsis to you, you'll know if it's something you want to read or not. So I guess my recommendation also someone that doesn't particularly like when females have to emulate a deeper voice because the character they're reading is a male. For some reason, that makes me so angry. And I don't like the vice versa of that. I don't like when a man has to emulate a high-pitched woman's voice because he's reading from a woman's point of view. I just don't. It makes my skin crawl. So that is why I don't really do audiobooks. But again, I freaking love audiobooks. Like, I wish I could find more narrators that I like, because I like listening to it while I read. It just feels more immersive having it in your ears, in your headphones, and then physically looking at it. Like, there's just something about that that I really enjoy. But I can't do it for every book because I'm real picky. So anyway, I just had to adjust my seat because my leg was falling asleep. But I've been filming for 50 minutes, and I think that I'm going to go ahead and end it here. I'm gonna go ahead and end it here. So I hope with